Imagine walking into a courtroom expecting a fair hearing only to be met with laughter, mockery, really from the very judge meant to uphold justice. That was me. There I was, facing what felt like an obvious injustice, and instead of respect, I got a smirk and a chuckle. You can guess how that made me feel: disrespected, underestimated, and frankly, a little furious. But I wasn't going to let that moment define the outcome. Little did anyone know that laugh was the opening act in a drama that would flip the entire courtroom on its head. By the end, the same judge who laughed would have no choice but to take a very different view of me. So, what happened next? Let's just say this story involves credentials you wouldn't expect, a shocking reveal, and a swift reminder that respect isn't something you ask for, it's something you command. It all started on a crisp morning in a small-town courtroom. The kind of place where everyone thinks justice is blind and fair. I was there for a straightforward hearing, something routine, or so I thought. The judge, well, he carried himself with an air of superiority, clearly not expecting me to challenge the narrative. Sitting opposite was the opposing counsel, sharp and confident, ready to dismiss my case with barely a glance. But what really caught my attention was the subtle eye-rolling and whispered snickers behind the bench. It was clear they saw me as just another inconvenient nuisance. Before the proceedings even began, a tense exchange set the tone. The judge's assistant hinted at dismissing my claims outright, suggesting I was wasting everyone's time. The courtroom felt heavy, as if the scales were already tipped. Yet, I stayed calm, keeping my cards close, because I knew there was more to this than met the eye. That initial disrespect, just the first ripple in a storm I was ready to unleash. The moment the judge laughed outright at my opening statement, I realized this wasn't going to be an ordinary case. That was just the beginning. From that laugh, the courtroom turned into a battleground of absurdity. Every motion I filed was met with exaggerated skepticism. Every piece of evidence was dismissed with thinly veiled contempt. At one point, the judge fined me for disrupting proceedings, simply because I corrected a misstatement. Threats of contempt charges hovered like dark clouds, and whispers spread that I was making enemies with powerful figures behind the scenes. The opposing counsel even resorted to personal jabs, attempting to undermine my credibility. Yet, amid the tension, there were moments of sharp, almost dark humor. When the judge sneered about my unusual credentials, the room tensed, but I kept my composure. I caught small victories too, like when a witness unexpectedly supported my side, shaking the courtroom's delicate balance. Anxiety swelled with each ruling against me, but so did my resolve. This wasn't just about winning. It was about proving that truth and respect aren't negotiable. And just when it seemed like I was losing ground, I started crafting a plan. I knew the courtroom was a stage and I was about to change the script. Quietly, I prepared to reveal something no one expected: my United States Secret Service credentials. That wasn't just a card to play, it was a symbol of authority, integrity, and professionalism that no one could scoff at. I spent hours strategizing how to introduce this twist without appearing boastful, just factual. The day came when I calmly requested to present my credentials not as a threat, but as a statement of who I was and what I represented. The courtroom fell into a hushed silence as I laid them on the table. That moment of calm before the storm was everything. The judge's smirk faded into stunned silence. The power dynamics shifted palpably. You could almost see the cracks form in the antagonist's armor as whispers spread through the room. This wasn't just a legal battle anymore, it was a moment of truth. From that point on, the momentum was mine. Then came the climax, the turning point no one saw coming. The judge who once laughed now listened intently, visibly recalibrating his attitude. Every sarcastic comment he made earlier was replaced with a careful, measured tone.